Hi, this is Jeff again. Here's part 2 for my playthrough of the Drive to Giessen campaign. I noticed a couple things I missed at the end of the first video in regards to the operational turn. So first off, prior to operational movement with the ground units, which we did already, you do want to do your air recon. And in this case, both sides have 5 air recon units, and the procedure's simple. Basically, you're just going to place them they can go anywhere on the map. And for each location that you want to look into, you're going to roll on the air recon table. And while you're not going to get a lot of information, you will get some of the information. So, number of formations and the type, if they're dug in or not. Of course, if you roll poorly, on a 5 you'll get aborted. And on a 6, you'll get shot down and actually lose the air unit for the game. So, but that's air recon, and that happens before the operational turn. So, units that don't get shot down will go back into the holding box after the recon phase. Also, during operational movement for the ground units, once you've moved everything, any formations that do not move during the turn are eligible to dig in and gain an improved position and a placed minefield. So in this case, this unit here, these 2 units here, stayed in position and they're not engaged. So that each one's going to get an improved position, and each one's going to get an emplaced minefield. The same goes for this location. So again, we have 2 formations, so each gets an improved position, each gets a minefield. A note: these improvements don't become effective till the next operational turn. So right now we're on the first early AM operational turn, so they don't take effect until the late AM operational turn. For placement in the battles. Also goes to here, since these guys didn't move, this one didn't move, but because they become engaged, they're not allowed to dig in, so they're not going to be eligible for those improvements. You can't gain improvements in a battle hex. Okay. Lastly, we have to address air power. So in this case, the Allies have 2 air units. Now, you can allocate one to any old battle, just like normal. In which case, that you'll get the card and it'll participate in the battle as per the normal rules. But in addition, you can also do an independent strike. So if you know there's an enemy unit somewhere, you can just place again. Air units can go anywhere on the operational map. And in this case, we'll do an independent strike. And the procedure here is a little abstract. So we're not going to set up a battle map or anything like that and hide the guys in the forest or wherever the case may be. First, what you'll do is you roll for interception roll, just like a normal scenario. On a 6, this air unit gets intercepted and it's shot down, and there is no strikes takes place. But assuming it gets through there, what you're going to do is you pull out the units that are in the location. So in Tiefenort, the Soviets have 2 artillery battalions. So they have this battalion and this battalion, and what the rules call for is, because they're scattered across the location and the air units get just a quick snapshot of what's going on, they're not going to see everything in this location. So the rules call for the defender to basically randomly pick 2/3 of the forces. So in this case, out of 7, that means I'm going to have to take 5 units. And let's see what we got. So basically, I saw the 2 S7s probably deployed in the open. Okay, but Soviets also have an SA-13. Now, if this SA-13 had not come up among the randomly drawn units, the Soviet player would not have any air defense fire. Okay, but in this case they did, so they'll get a shot at the F-111 before it is able to make its own strike. Again, we're abstracting it, so if the Soviet player, the defending player, draws an air defense asset, it's assumed that it's going to be able to fire at normal range. If you had more than one air defense asset, it would be able to add in 1 extra die per the normal air defense fire rolls. Okay? So, and that would be resolved. If it gets through air defense fire, then basically the air unit's going to be able to pick one unit and strike that one unit. And then per the normal procedures for rolling for the attack strike. Okay, and that's all there is to it for airstrikes. Assuming the F-111 makes it through, he just goes right back to the holding box. Okay. Now we're going to proceed with the battles. Okay. So in this case, we're gonna choose to set up this battle. Now, starting with the pack player, the way battles are resolved, the pack player picks one battle to resolve, then the NATO player picks a battle to resolve. Okay, and then you would play through the scenarios that are generated by each battle location. Okay, so the pack decides he's going to choose this formation first. So this location first. So in this case, NATO has these two formations, and the Soviets have just the one location, the one battalion. So we're going to proceed to the map. The Soviets have a T-64 battalion with 2 recon units and their defense. NATO's have a Martyr company, plus that's the purple is the divisional recon battalion, which is heavy on the Leopard 1s. Okay. Now, for those with the Kickstarter, you guys got all the goodies. So basically, the rules call for you to pick randomly from the 14 maps you got, and then you're going to set them up. Technically, you're supposed to set the maps up and then roll to see which side is north and south. So I'm just going to, in this case, I'm just going to, sorry about the glare about there, but, so over here on the right is going to be the east, and over here on the west, on the left is the west. In this case, we have map 45 and map 41. So, and of course, as you know, we have a lot of variety with the maps. So, okay, so in any case, first thing we're going to do is now, prior to setting up units, we got to set up the objectives. Now, each scenario is going to have 3 objectives. Okay, and basically, whoever controls 2 of the objectives at the end of the battle will control that map location. Okay, there are cases where it may be a tie, in which case the battle can proceed, and those are outlined in the rules. So during battle setup, anyways, first the attacking player, in this case the pact, is going to select the first objective. Okay, and the rules for the objective is that it can't be closer than 3 hexes. It can't be closer than 3 hexes or closer to one of the entry map hexes. So in this case, the east map edge and the west map edge, and at least one objective needs to be on each map board. So if you pick cities, that means all contiguous city hexes are part of the objective. So that makes it tough in this map because there are some very large cities in this in this map. So for the Soviets, we're going to place 1 here. Okay, you can place the objectives in a city or on a bridge. So they're going to select there. NATO is going to put down B. The defender does the second one. And you can also pick a bridge location. But NATO's not going to make it easy. They're going to pick this city. So they're going to have to, the Soviets in this case have a pretty hard job to do. But they get the 3rd objective to place, and because now each map board has at least one objective, the Soviet player can actually place it in either map board. And so what they're going to do is just say, we're going to place it right here for this bridge. Okay? In the case of a bridge, you need to control both hexes on that bridge hex side. So what looked like it could have been tough for the Soviets to attack and gain control of this battle location now looks like it's a doable job, to say the least. But so there's a little strategy involved in that. Maybe the NATO player should have decided, instead of choosing that city, putting the second objective on the eastern map, forcing the Soviets to put their objective on the other map. So, but anyways, that's the way it is. In this case, we have mixed forces. So the Martyr Company started in location. So he's able to set up anywhere on this map, either map board. The only restriction being that he cannot be 8 hexes or closer to the entry board for the attacker. So in this case, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically, from this line here, just right about this area here. So, but you would count from the map. So they have to be, basically, they got the western 2/3 of the map to set up on. The full, just about the full 3 panels there across. These guys, they entered from the other location. They're within the road capacity, so they're going to enter on turn 1. Okay? The Soviets, they're all going to enter on turn 1. They did not use road march, so they can enter anywhere along the map edge. Finally, before we actually set up the remaining units, you have to roll for surprise. Okay? Both sides are going to roll 1 die, and the modifier for this is the number of recon units. So, the Soviets are going to roll 1 die, and they have 2 BRDM2 recon units, so they're going to get a +2 to the die roll. The Germans here also have 2 recon units, and so they're going to get a +2. And basically, to determine if they're surprised, if one side is 3 or higher, so if the modified die roll is a 3 for one side and the other side gets a 6 or higher, you know, the higher side's going to get surprised. You know, for the attacker, it means units that are entering will be able to set up within the close to the map edge. I think it's 3 hexes within it, if I recall correctly, 3 hexes. But look at the surprise rule on that. But they're going to be able to start on map in that case. With the defender, it means the restriction of being within 8 hexes of the map edge is gone, and they're allowed to set up a formation hidden. So you'd write down the positions of the units, and basically they can be hidden in any hex that offers a terrain bonus of that type. So, you know, you can't park yourself in the wide open and say you're hidden there. But, you know, certainly in the woods, infantry, you know, non-vehicle types in the cultivated, anybody in the city as well, they can start hidden and and get the jump on the attacker, okay, for surprise. And that covers it for how you set up the battles. And I'll come up with another video for the post-battle analysis.